Mike Perlack here to entertain you with the help of Michael Penn. You cut me to the quick, some kind of abandon, pouring over every word in my mind. And is it making sense? It's coming back at random. And I already forgotten what I needed to find. I'll do this and I'll do that. I'm getting over a cold, folks. Anyways, that's just a song I'm working on. I can't wait till heaven. I won't be there. Anyways, I wanted to get one out there. This is basically just going to be a rant of things that have been on, like random thoughts that have been on my mind the last couple of weeks. I wanted to get them out of my head and out there on social media. So when I think of what the left preaches, boys can be girls, girls can be boys, 2 plus 2 is whatever you want it to be. Black and brown students are not stupid. Math is just race. IST. What I go through to get around the algorithm. But with all this, only makes me conclude that modern humans at large are on such a freaking ego trip at this point in human history. And I'm not anti-Fauci ouchie, but it worries me. It is worrisome to know there are people now who wear the mask because they fear someone might think they're Republican if they don't wear the mask. That's worrisome. I've been in the process of organizing a lot of my crap, including all the die-cast toy cars I've accumulated, most in the last 15 years. But I went through all of them. It was quite a project, I will admit. I had to invest in a couple of plastic totes to do it efficiently. But I was amazed at how many die-cast toy cars that had no identity on the bottom as to manufacturer, like Hot Wheel, Matchbox, and just simply said made in China. So I tossed all those into a separate tote, the ones that had no manufacturer identity and just simply said made in China. And all the ones that said made in China were typically those ones you find in like a 5-pack at the dollar store, what I remember back in the day. But yeah, basically a tote of scrap metal and plastic. There were ones that said made in China that then also had a distinctive manufacturer. But, yeah, the fact that they're made in China, maybe I should wash them before I handle them. What if they came from that Wuhan lab? And it's no wonder China wants to control the market. I mean, if their die-cast toy cars are any example of the quality of their production or quality of their products, Hot Wheels is a distinctively American company. Matchbox is a European company. And both of them obviously are designed to please the individual. Communist society, like China, has no use for the individual. They make a product, and as long as the masses can look at it and say, yeah, that's a car. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter, any attention to detail or any artistic endeavor. Heard an interesting little term in the news, inflationary socialism. Now, China's hidden local government debt is half its gross domestic product. I think I already mentioned this on my jogging in the rain video, but yeah, there's actually petitioning petitioning BS to stop Trump from campaign rallying. They really are fearing for their power. It is his constitutional right to rally, and even though they use some of the music, in his rallies. And there are artists that complain about it, but they still must they must accept the paycheck because they have to pay to use those songs. Capitalism. Just because he understands the importance of grassroots and going to the people to get his message out there, something the Democratic Party is at a loss for these days. All they know is power. Power. Keeping what they have and getting more of it. The way of the political elitists. Completely out of touch with American patriot workers and dreamers. When done does something for you, there's a catch. Give government a bit of your freedom. Trump, on the other hand, gives you the tools you need to make it happen for yourself. And no freedom sacrificed. I was remembering this black comedian I saw in Comedy Showcase years ago. This is a show was hosted by Louis Anderson years ago. Anyways, he was bad-mouthing rock music. You know, lyrics like, "Go insane! Bang your head! Kill your parents!" And I remember thinking, what's the difference? Rapping hip-hop artists, it's all about smoking blunts, dissing hoes, and kill the police. All metaphors for, rebelling against authority. And because of how things, were in the ghetto and father absence, the police were forced to kind of be like the parents to a lot of these inner city kids. Oh, God. Political elites say, why are they not just doing like we told them to do, like they've been doing for years? They've been doing for the past 30 years. If they're black or a minority, then for the last 50, 60 years, they've just been doing as we said. They don't questioning us. Why are they questioning us now? Why are they questioning us, our supreme authority? This is the mantra of Nancy and Chuck every night before bed. At this point, I think the Clintons are just trying to keep a low profile. Oh, they're trying to influence shit, but from behind the scenes, like that puppet that was president for 8 years. What was his name? Barack. I think it's more the Democratic Party because they're the party that thinks that they know better than us peasants, than us deplorables. That's my opinion. What else is happening in the last couple of weeks? Silly Millie! I have no respect for a general that obviously has no interest in, is not a soldier for the people like you're supposed to be. Yeah, that's treasonous to undermine the commander-in-chief, we the people. Calls China to tell them we will warn you if the U.S. Attacks China. We should not be attacking China military. We should be attacking China economically if you really want to make a difference. But I wrote that note before something else happened. That was before he threw Nancy and Chuck under the bus. How about that AOC, that waitress who's pretending to be a U.S. representative? Somebody on social media had to correct me. I for some reason I was thinking she was a senator. Thank God. But cute, maybe, but she's like the female version of Norman Bates. Yeah, wears a dress. We're going to tax the rich. Same old song and dance. All it is talking points every 2 and 4 years to get votes. It does nothing. Just like the Republicans, trickle-down economics. It does nothing but get votes every 2 and 4 years. Period. A while back, I recall hearing about an ex-police chief in Michigan running to be governor. Never in politics before. Good. That's what we need. New blood. Across the board. No Clinton influencers. So there was a thing in the news about McDonald's. No more plastic toys. It's all going to be cardboard little doodad things that kids can put together in the Happy Meals. And they're eliminating all plastic toys. Now, they say this is for environmental reasons, but I know the inside story. They need to save all that plastic so they can continue to process their quote-unquote hamburger meat. That's a straight-up Norm Macdonald joke. Thanks, Norm. Now, very rare is it I actually go to any fast food establishment these days. The attitude of the workers, I mean, there are obviously exceptions to this, but primarily, for the most part, the attitude of the workers, it's like they're annoyed that you're there. It's like, I'm sorry to be such a burden on your earning a paycheck. Reminds me of a Carlos Mencia joke where he says, guy, he goes up to a restaurant and the guy says, how come I gotta work at diddly do food? I don't know. Maybe it's because of your report card. I don't go mainly because these days the service is so bad. I mean, in most of these places, it's just terrible. I can cook a burger and bake a potato myself. Thank you very much. I was watching this interview, Dennis Prager on PragerU, this woman who was a former victim of human trafficking, and she was saying how in North Korea, Kim Jong-un is starving to death. Or so the communist powers that be over there would have us believe. Thanks, Norm. Never underestimate what control of hearts and minds of populace in a country can accomplish. Yeah, apparently the people in North Korea are honestly convinced that Kim Jong-un is starving to death. This wasn't anything in the news, just something I was thinking about. Fame is overrated because you have to pursue a perceived persona to preserve it, putting aside God and other more important pastimes. Not all of us can be a Madonna or Sting or Cher or someone else that the masses love without question. These people can commit murder, and the masses still say they're the greatest thing since spread butter. Maybe if the human race at large was more intelligent, fame would be a more worthy thing. I was watching a PragerU video about making apple pie from scratch in a microwave. And they were saying something about the melting pot and apple pie, and it made some adult movie titles make more sense to me. Oh, that's what they were going for. Recent texts I got from my mom, we were texting about what's going on in this world, and I said, this mail-in BS should have never happened. And she texted me back, Biden should have never happened. I've been eating steak for breakfast, and it's really been working out. It makes it easier, it makes life easier the whole day. But eating in general has become just another burden on my life. Some people's idea of heaven is to eat whatever they want without consequence. My idea of heaven, at least in part, is the total absence of the need to eat. And I was thinking about a quote that I heard in the past. An average intelligent person discusses things. A very intelligent person discusses people. A supremely intelligent person discusses ideas. All right. With that, these last 15 years of my life, I've been to a lot of funerals. Family, friends, co-workers. I've been to a lot of funerals, and I just had an observation I did want to share. Most recently, an aunt of mine passed away. An aunt passed away on my father's side years ago, which I recall somebody saying that she was the glue that held the family together. Well, this aunt that died recently, you could say that she was the one that held the glue together on my mom's side of the family. But anyways, I had an observation I did want to share. All these funerals I've been through, I've been to, you know, majority of them had a cadaver, corpse, whatever you want to call it. But a few of them were cremated, and it was just a vase. But anyways, I think because people are running out of money. Anyways, but with all these funerals I've been to in the last 15 years, the corpse, the body in the casket, kind of look the same to me, and that's not really accurate, 100%. I just can't think of a better way to put it. It's their appearance to me. It's not so much a thing, but maybe the absence of something, life, duh. But for lack of a better term, maybe there is no term in the human language for it. But it's not that the corpses all look the same. That's not really accurate, but they kind of do, at least to me. From the time I saw my grandmother in a casket when I was a kid to now, just recently my aunt. It's just it's like the body looks the same as all the other ones. Anyways, it's been a while since I ended a video with a prayer, so. God, these days, we live in a world where there are so many different versions of truth. This one's truth, that person's truth, what this person says is true, what that person says is true. But I take comfort in at the end of the day, they're all human truths, and therefore do not matter in the grand scope of it. As we as Christians know that it is your truth, God's truth, is the only one that is paramount to all else. In Jesus' name, amen. Mike Paralak, thank you for your time.